Hello, my name is Hugo from Langmaster Learning System, and this is our series, Pronunciation for Beginners. In these videos, you will learn how to speak clearly and confidently in English in only 12 weeks. The goal of the program is for you to be understood and to be confident while you speak. You spend years and years studying and practicing the English language. You are fluent in English, but if your pronunciation is unclear, then your message will not be heard or understood. For you to be effective in your English pronunciation, you must learn to speak English in a way that others will easily understand you. Learning and practicing the rules of pronunciation also brings great confidence. Learning the rules of pronunciation brings confidence to your speech because you know exactly what you have to do to be understood every time. I firmly believe that anyone can learn to use fluent English pronunciation, no matter your age or whether you live in the United States, England, or in any other country. The steps learning English pronunciation are very structured, and if you follow this program step by step, you will be able to speak with clear pronunciation. The method of learning English pronunciation is different than the method of learning the English language. Learning the English language involves learning grammar and vocabulary, but learning English pronunciation is all about learning two things. Number one, you must learn the individual sounds of English, which includes the unique vowels and consonants of the English language. Number two, you must learn to use the correct rhythm of English. Just like every style of music has its own rhythm, every language has its own unique rhythm. In order to speak English fluently, you must learn how to use the rhythm of English. With very few exceptions, everyone is born with the ability to use the sound and rhythm of any language. As a child, you develop the sound system of the language you are exposed to since birth. The sound and rhythm of your first language becomes ingrained in you as you hear and speak that language every single day. When you learn a second language, such as English, you naturally apply the sound and rhythm of your first language to your second language. The problem is, English doesn't have the same sounds and rhythm as your first language. Every language is different. When you use the sounds and rhythm of your first language while speaking the English language, it creates an accent. Let me say that again. An accent is the carryover of the sounds and rhythm of your first language to your second language. If you are speaking English fluently, then you must learn to use the correct sounds and rhythm of English while speaking English. It can be done, and you are going to learn these skills during this course, but it does take practice. Think of it as learning to ride a bike. At first, it was very uncomfortable. You didn't know how to move your feet and hands. You didn't know how to balance. It took complete concentration to stay on the bike and move forward. You have to practice to make sure you could ride in a straight line. You had to learn how to stop, start, turn, and watch out for cars and lampposts so you didn't run into them. Just because you understood how a bike worked didn't mean you knew how to ride one. It took practice for your muscles to become comfortable with the movement. You had to practice the movement over and over again. Eventually, your muscles learned how to move in that new way. Now that you've had many hours of experience riding a bike, you are able to ride with comfort and ease. You don't need to concentrate so much on the small movements of riding a bike. It just comes naturally. This is the same process for learning English pronunciation. English pronunciation is learning to move your mouth muscles in a new way. It's going to feel awkward and uncomfortable at first. It will take a lot of concentration in the beginning. But the more you practice, the easier and more comfortable it will become. The basic pronunciation of Langmaster Learning System is specifically designed to gradually build your skills. So, by the end of the program, you will understand all the rules of pronunciation and, more importantly, you will know how to use them in your speech. Now, let's talk about the 6 steps for learning English pronunciation. Number 1. You must decide and commit. I want you to decide right now that you are going to follow this program for the full 12 weeks. The results you will get from this program will lead to you making more money, getting a better job, and having more opportunities in your career. But those wonderful benefits will not come to you unless you commit to follow through with this program for the full 12 weeks. You must commit to watching the videos and practicing every single day. It's not difficult work, but it does take steady and consistent effort every day. In 12 weeks, you can either be exactly the same as you are today, or you can speak clearly and confidently in English. It's your decision, and that decision needs to be made right now. The second step to learn English pronunciation is learning the rules. This step is up to me. It's my job to teach you how to speak with fluent English in a way that is easy for you to understand. I am here to help you to learn, so please give me feedback as to what would be helpful. Remember that the process of learning English pronunciation takes time. Don't be in a hurry to learn it all in the first 2 weeks of the program. The lessons are structured for you to gradually learn rules of pronunciation so you can successfully use them in your speech. The third step of learning English pronunciation is to listen. I know you're being successful in your English pronunciation training when you begin to correct your own errors. This program is designed to help you hear the difference between the way you are currently saying the sounds and words in English and the way an English speaker says the sounds and words. Once you are able to hear the difference, then you will be able to correct errors in your pronunciation. It will take some time, but it will happen as you learn to listen. The fourth step to learning English pronunciation is to learn the correct mouth movements. In this program, you will learn where to put your tongue, lips, teeth, and mouth so that you can make the correct sounds of English. As long as your mouth is in the correct position, you will be able to make sounds that are unique to English. The fifth step to learning English pronunciation is to practice. I've talked about it already, but the most important part of this program is for you to practice every day. The work is not difficult, but you must be consistent in your practice. For this program, you are encouraged to practice for 30 minutes a day. If you practice more than 30 minutes per day, your pronunciation will be better than average. If you do not practice for at least 30 minutes every day, I cannot promise you the same great results. Just like anything else worthwhile, you can't get the results without the efforts. And finally, the sixth step to English pronunciation is to use it in your daily conversations. Your new pronunciation skills will be useless unless you remember to use them in your daily conversations in English. At first, it will take more concentration to use your new pronunciation skills while you speak, but eventually, if you practice, the sounds will become more and more comfortable and natural for you to use. Those are the 6 steps to learning English pronunciation, which again are: 1. Decide and commit. 2. Learn the rules. 3. Listen. 4. Learn the correct mouth movements. 5. Practice. And 6. Use it in daily conversation. Now, I told you before that learning English pronunciation is all about learning 2 things. 1. You must learn the sounds of English. 2. You must learn to use the correct rhythm of English. Let me explain how you will learn these 2 very important keys to English pronunciation. Let's start with learning the sounds of English. There are 44 different sounds used in the English language. The sounds that you'll focus on are only those sounds that you are saying incorrectly. Based on your first language, there are generally some sounds that tend to be more difficult for you. Your initial evaluation also tells us which sounds you need to work on. For every sound you will work on during this program, you will follow the same pattern. First, I will explain how the sound is made by showing you the correct mouth shape and movement. Next, you will practice saying the correct sounds in words, then in sentences, and you'll practice the correct sound while listening to conversations. Next, you will do a listening exercise or quiz to help you tune your ear to the correct sound versus the sound you are making. Now, I want to emphasize something that is very important. As I model the new sound each lesson, you will notice that I've overemphasized the target sound so much that it might sound unnatural. This is done purposefully, and I want you to resist the urge to rush through sounds as you practice. You are training the muscles in your mouth to move in a new way. With practice and repetition, those new muscle movements will become more natural for you as you start to increase your speed. When you say the sounds, your mouth will still be able to make the correct sound even at a faster pace. But for now, focus on practicing the sounds just as I model them. Gradually, through this program, you will then incorporate your new skills into reading and conversation. Each level gets progressively more difficult, but as you follow the directions in the video, you will be successful at each level. In addition to learning the correct sounds of English, you will also learn to use the correct rhythm of English. Using the correct rhythm of English is sometimes more important than saying every sound correctly. It's when you use the correct rhythm of English that others will understand you the best. Using the correct rhythm involves using all of the following. First, you have to use the correct word stress. Word stress is knowing which part of the word needs to be stressed or emphasized. For example, in English, there are many words that are spelled the same, but they have different meanings depending on the way we stress the word. For example, the meaning of the word desert is a dry climate, but desert is a verb meaning to leave or abandon something or someone. Desert, desert. You hear the difference then? We also talked about sentence stress. Sentence stress refers to the way we stress or do not stress certain words in our sentences. Next, we have intonation. Intonation is the rising and falling of our pitch while we speak. There are rules that tell us when our voice needs to go up and when it needs to fall down. We'll also talk about linking. A fluent English speaker does not talk like this with every word separated. We talk like this with our words connected. You will learn how to connect your speech sounds nicely and fluently. Next is pausing. Although you need to connect your speech, you also need to know when it's appropriate to pause. Appropriate pausing is very important for effective communication. And finally, we'll talk about rate of speech. Many non-native English speakers speak too fast, which makes it very difficult for a native speaker to understand. In this course, you will learn and practice using the correct rate of speech. Learning how to use all of these skills will help you speak using the correct rhythm of English. I know it sounds like a lot, but through this 12-week course, we will progressively layer these skills one by one in a very natural way. Again, these skills are word stress, sentence stress, intonation, linking, pausing, and rate of speech. Through this course, you will learn all of these skills of English pronunciation. You will learn how to use the correct sounds and rhythm of English so you can speak clearly and confidently. During the first 6 weeks, you will learn a lot of information about pronunciation. Just follow the directions step by step and you'll do fine. After the first 6 weeks of the program, you will begin to do more exercises that will help you bring all of your new skills in reading and conversation. You might feel that your progress is slow at the beginning, but in the end, you'll be making many big improvements. From week to week, I'm excited for you to take this program. I've seen many people change their lives as they work to improve their English communication skills through this program. Decide now that you are going to follow this program, and I know for the next 12 weeks, you will change your life for the better. If you found this video helpful, then like and subscribe to our channel to have more videos to watch. If you want to learn more about pronunciation methods, check out our book, pronunciation guide. The link is in the description below. And if you want to learn more learning English methods, leave your phone number and email address in the comments box below. I'm Hugo from Langmaster Learning System. Goodbye.